Ladies and gentlemen, I want to speak to those who feel stuck, frustrated, and lost in life. Maybe you wake up every morning dreading your job. You feel unfulfilled, like you are just existing but not truly living. I have come to tell you today, work is not a punishment. It is a platform. You were never designed to wander aimlessly, hopping from one job to another just to survive. No, you were created with a specific purpose, and that purpose is tied to your work. Not just a job, but your divine assignment. Work is often reduced to a means of survival, a paycheck that covers expenses, a routine that repeats itself month after month, and a responsibility that many people dread. But work was never meant to be a burden. It was meant to be an avenue for purpose. When people approach work with the mindset of mere survival, they become trapped in cycles of dissatisfaction, frustration, and burnout. They wake up every morning counting the hours until they can leave, and they live for the weekend, hoping for moments of relief. This is not how life was designed to be. True fulfillment does not come from the size of a paycheck, but from the impact one makes through the work they do. Every human being was created with a unique gift, something placed inside of them that sets them apart. This gift is the key to their assignment in life. Money is necessary, but money should never be the primary motivation for work. There are people earning six-figure salaries who are still empty inside because they are not operating in their calling. There are others who may not have all the material wealth in the world, yet they are rich in purpose and wake up each day with a fire inside them. The difference is not in the income, but in the alignment. When a person aligns their work with their purpose, they step into a realm of fulfillment that no amount of money can buy. People often think that if they earn more, they will be happier, but studies have shown that beyond a certain point, money does not increase satisfaction. What truly brings joy is a sense of meaning, the realization that one's labor is making a difference in the world. Some of the wealthiest people in history have still felt lost, because wealth without purpose is empty. On the other hand, some of the most impactful people were not necessarily the richest, but they were the ones who dedicated themselves to something greater than personal gain. When work is only about money, people make decisions out of fear rather than faith. They stay in jobs that drain them, not because they are called to be there, but because they fear losing financial security. They ignore the inner voice urging them to step into their true assignment because they worry about how they will sustain themselves. But the truth is, provision follows purpose. When a person is operating in their gift, doors open, opportunities arise, and resources come from unexpected places. The world pays for value, and when someone maximizes their unique gift, they naturally attract abundance. Many people spend years climbing the corporate ladder only to realize they were leaning against the wrong wall. They chase positions, titles, and promotions, hoping that the next level will bring the fulfillment they desire. Yet with every new achievement, the feeling of emptiness remains. This is because external success can never replace internal purpose. True success is not measured by how much one earns, but by how much one contributes. It is found in knowing that the work being done is leaving a lasting impact, changing lives, and fulfilling a divine assignment. Some of the most successful individuals did not start with wealth, but they started with a vision. They understood that their work was a vehicle for something greater than themselves. They focused on serving, solving problems, and bringing solutions to the world. As a result, wealth followed them, not because they chased it, but because they created value. There's a difference between working for money and working for impact. When a person works for money, they become a slave to their paycheck. But when they work for impact, money becomes a byproduct of their service. The moment a person discovers their purpose and aligns it with their work, everything changes. They no longer wake up dreading Monday mornings. They no longer feel exhausted by the mere thought of work. Instead, they embrace each day with passion because they know their efforts are contributing to something meaningful. They see challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles, and they approach their tasks with excellence because they recognize that their work is part of their divine assignment. Work was never meant to be something to escape from. It was meant to be an avenue for expressing one's gifts, for making a difference, and for fulfilling the very reason for existence. When work becomes an extension of purpose, it transforms from a duty into a privilege. Instead of living for the weekend, a person begins to live for the mission. Instead of being consumed by the need to survive, they become driven by the desire to serve. This is the shift that leads to true fulfillment. Not working for a paycheck, but working for a purpose that outlives the present moment. Many people view work as something to endure, a necessary evil that must be tolerated in order to survive. They see it as a burden, something to be completed only because it provides for their needs. This perspective comes from a misunderstanding of the true nature of work. Work is not a curse, it is a calling. It is an opportunity to worship God through the labor of your hands, the skills you've developed, and the service you provide to others. Work, at its core, is an expression of who you are. It is the vehicle through which you fulfill your purpose on this earth. It is a sacred act, not merely a means to an end. The Bible makes it clear that everything we do should be done for the glory of God, whether in word or deed. When you begin to see your work as an extension of God's assignment for your life, it transforms from a task to a divine privilege. In the beginning, when God created man, He gave him work to do. In the Garden of Eden, Adam was tasked with tending the garden and naming the animals. This was not a punishment, it was a partnership. Work was a means of participating in God's creation. Similarly, today, your work is not a result of the fall. It is part of God's plan for your life. It is an opportunity to join with Him in the ongoing creation of the world around you. Whether you are a teacher, a doctor, a janitor, or an entrepreneur, your work is an extension of His will and purpose. When you see your labor as worship, you stop seeing it as something to simply get through. Instead, it becomes a way to honor God, a way to reflect His glory. This shift in perspective will change everything. It will change how you approach your job, how you engage with your co-workers, and how you treat your clients or customers. When your work becomes worship, excellence is no longer optional. It becomes a natural outpouring of your heart. You give your best because you know that your work is a reflection of who God is in you. You know that by doing your work with excellence, you are giving honor to the one who created you. Excellence is not perfection, but it is the pursuit of the highest standard possible. Excellence is rooted in diligence, attention to detail, and a desire to contribute meaningfully. When you work with excellence, you honor the gift that has been entrusted to you. You demonstrate that you understand the significance of your work and its impact on the world. When you approach work as worship, you become less concerned with how others perceive you and more focused on how your efforts align with God's plan for your life. This mindset shifts your attitude from one of mere duty to one of devotion. When you approach your work as worship, you begin to ask yourself, How can I serve God through this? It might be through offering exceptional service to your customers, delivering your best performance in a team meeting, or showing integrity and kindness in your dealings with others. Whatever the task, when it is done with the mindset of honoring God, it becomes an act of worship. Furthermore, this perspective changes your view of challenges. Instead of seeing difficult tasks or difficult people as obstacles, you begin to see them as opportunities for growth. When you are working for God, you realize that every challenge is an opportunity to deepen your character, develop new skills, and reflect God's goodness. Instead of avoiding tough situations, you face them head-on, knowing that God has equipped you for the task at hand. Moreover, work becomes more meaningful when it is seen as an opportunity to contribute to the common good. Your labor is not just for your personal benefit or financial gain, but it is a means to serve others and make the world a better place. Whether you are building, teaching, healing, or managing, the impact of your work extends far beyond the immediate task. It touches lives, changes environments, and transforms communities. And when you approach your work with the mindset of worship, you take pride in the service you are providing. You understand that you are fulfilling a divine purpose, and you do it with integrity, passion, and dedication. When work becomes worship, it becomes more than just a job. It becomes a calling, a mission, a service to God and humanity. It is no longer something you have to do, but something you are privileged to do. You don't need to be in a church to worship God. Your workplace can become your sanctuary. You don't need to be leading a ministry to honor God. Your work can be your ministry. Every task, every responsibility, every project is an opportunity to serve God with excellence. When you view your work this way, you are no longer just earning a paycheck. You are fulfilling a divine calling, and that transforms how you see your labor and how you live your life. Each and every person was born with a unique gift, something that sets them apart from others and is meant to be used for a greater purpose. Too many people live their lives in the shadow of uncertainty, feeling as though they were destined for a life of struggle, confusion, or mediocrity. But that's not the truth. You were not created to live in uncertainty, constantly questioning your place in the world. God, in His infinite wisdom, has placed a special gift inside of you. A gift that, when fully developed, will open doors no man can shut. This gift is not something external that you must search for, nor is it something that can be bought or learned. It is already within you, waiting to be discovered, nurtured, and used for the fulfillment of your purpose. The challenge is not finding the gift. The challenge is developing it. Too often, people waste their time chasing external validation, chasing approval from others, or searching for the next opportunity, not realizing that the door they are looking for is already inside of them. Your gift is what will bring you before great people. It's the key that will unlock opportunities you never imagined. The Bible tells us that a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. This is not a metaphor, this is a principle. Your gift, whether it's your creativity, your leadership ability, your problem-solving skills, your talent for communication, or any other unique trait, has the power to propel you forward in ways that your qualifications or credentials cannot. When you learn to operate in your gift, you will attract the right opportunities, the right people, and the right environments. Many people remain stuck in unfulfilling jobs or relationships because they have not yet tapped into their God-given gift. They spend their lives trying to fit into places where they don't belong, using their energy to perform tasks that were never meant for them. The moment you recognize your gift and begin to cultivate it, things begin to shift. You stop competing for opportunities because your gift will make room for you. The doors that once seemed closed will open, not by your effort, but by the force of your gift. It's important to remember that your gift is not just for you, it's for the world. The gifts you've been given were meant to serve others, to bring value, and to make a difference. When you operate in your gift, you don't just elevate your own life, you elevate the lives of those around you. Your gift is an answer to a problem, a solution to a need, a light in a dark place. When you walk in your purpose, you become a catalyst for change. There is also a key element to developing your gift: discipline. Gifts are not fully realized overnight. They require time, effort, and a commitment to growth. Many people start with a gift but never see it reach its full potential because they neglect it or are afraid to put in the necessary work. Developing your gift requires dedication. It requires stepping out of your comfort zone, learning new skills and sharpening your abilities. It requires a willingness to fail and try again, to learn from mistakes and to grow through challenges. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing that their gift has to be something that everyone can immediately recognize or validate. They think that because their gift isn't as visible or popular as someone else's, it's not valuable. But that's simply not true. Your gift is not defined by how many people see it or how quickly it is acknowledged. It is valuable simply because it was given to you, and it holds the power to change your life. When you nurture it, develop it, and use it, the world will begin to recognize it, and doors will begin to open. In addition to personal growth, it's important to remember that your gift has an eternal impact. When you operate in your purpose, you contribute to something far greater than yourself. You become a vessel through which God's plan is fulfilled on earth. The unique gift inside you was placed there for a reason, and it will lead you to the places you need to be. When you are faithful in developing your gift and using it for the greater good, you participate in a divine partnership that has an eternal ripple effect. It's time to stop seeing your struggles, your uncertainty, and your fears as obstacles. They are simply part of the process of revealing your gift. Instead of focusing on the challenges, focus on developing your gift. Invest in yourself, improve your skills, and trust that God has already provided the way forward. When you walk in your gift with faith, doors will open that no man can shut. You were not born to struggle in uncertainty. You were born to succeed in the fulfillment of your purpose, and your gift is the key to unlocking that success. In life, problems are often viewed as obstacles or setbacks, things to be avoided or endured. However, this perspective can limit your potential and keep you from seeing the true opportunities that lie within each challenge. The reality is that every problem in life is an invitation, a call to rise up and showcase the value that you bring to the world. Problems are not to be feared or resented. They are to be embraced as opportunities to demonstrate your ability to solve, to innovate, and to make a meaningful impact. The world does not reward those who complain about problems. It rewards those who solve them. Whether in the workplace, in relationships, or in society at large, people are consistently looking for solutions. Those who can identify a problem and offer a solution become invaluable, while those who simply point out the issue without contributing to the solution are often overlooked. The key to success in life is not avoiding problems, but learning how to use them as stepping stones to demonstrate your worth. Consider the greatest leaders, entrepreneurs, and change makers in history. Each of them faced tremendous challenges, Yet instead of being defeated, they saw each obstacle as a chance to create something new. They saw the problems they encountered as opportunities to serve others, to improve systems, and to bring about positive change. Whether it was Thomas Edison's countless failures in inventing the light bulb or Nelson Mandela's struggle against apartheid, each individual faced immense difficulties, but they viewed their problems as platforms to make a difference. They did not complain about the problems they faced. They worked tirelessly to solve them, and in doing so, they became icons in their respective fields. Problems are not signs that something is wrong. They are signals that something needs to be fixed, improved, or transformed. Every problem, big or small, presents an opportunity to display creativity, resilience, and resourcefulness. When you approach a problem with a mindset of innovation rather than frustration, you begin to see it as a challenge that holds the potential for growth. Problems are invitations to step into your purpose and showcase the unique talents and abilities that you have to offer. For instance, in the business world, the most successful companies often arise from identifying and solving a problem. Companies like Uber, Airbnb, and Amazon began as solutions to specific needs or gaps in the market. These entrepreneurs saw the problems in society and used their ingenuity to develop solutions that have since revolutionized industries. They didn't focus on the difficulties or barriers in their way. They focused on the opportunities their problems presented. The world does not pay for complaints. It pays for the value created in response to a problem. In your personal life, the same principle applies. The problems you face, whether they are financial struggles, relational difficulties, or health challenges, are not just burdens to bear. They are invitations to grow. They push you to find creative solutions, to think outside the box, and to cultivate resilience. They are opportunities to become stronger, wiser, and more equipped to handle whatever comes your way. Life's challenges are not meant to break you, but to mold you into someone capable of overcoming greater obstacles. The way you respond to problems ultimately determines your success. If you allow problems to defeat you, to discourage you, or to make you feel helpless, then you will remain stuck in a cycle of frustration and limitation. However, if you approach problems as opportunities to learn, to create, and to serve, then you open yourself up to the possibility of growth, success, and fulfillment. Problems are not roadblocks. They are stepping stones to your purpose. Moreover, when you solve a problem, you not only improve your own life, but you also contribute to the well-being of those around you. Every solution you offer is a service to others. Whether it's solving a technical issue, helping someone through a difficult situation, or finding a way to make a process more efficient, your ability to solve problems impacts the world in ways you may not immediately see. The more problems you solve, the more value you bring to the table. You begin to position yourself as someone who is indispensable. People seek out those who can provide solutions, who can turn challenges into opportunities, and who have the ability to make things better. The more you develop your problem-solving skills, the more you will be sought after and rewarded. Life is filled with problems, some expected and some unexpected. But the key to success is not avoiding them or complaining about them. The key is to view each problem as an opportunity to rise to the occasion, to demonstrate your value, and to create solutions that make a difference. The world rewards those who solve problems, not those who dwell on them. So when you face a challenge, Remember that it is not a burden. It is an invitation to show the world the value that you carry and the potential within you to make a lasting impact. In today's world, it's easy to fall into the trap of chasing money. Many people believe that wealth is something to be pursued relentlessly, and they spend their time and energy focused on acquiring it. Yet, this approach often leads to frustration, burnout, and a lack of fulfillment. The truth is, you don't need to chase money. Instead, you must learn to attract it. Wealth is not something that can be obtained through force or desperation. It follows those who cultivate their gifts and serve others with excellence. When you focus on becoming valuable, money will come naturally as a byproduct of your efforts. The key to attracting wealth is not to seek money for the sake of money, but to focus on becoming the best version of yourself, developing your skills and contributing your gifts to the world. Your value is what draws others to you, and it is what allows you to command the rewards that come with the value you provide. People pay for what they perceive as valuable. If you are a person of value, then the opportunities to exchange your talents for compensation will naturally present themselves. In order to attract wealth, you must first understand that it is your unique gifts, abilities, and talents that hold the potential to bring prosperity into your life. Every individual is born with something special inside them, a gift that, when nurtured and developed, can create value for others. This gift may not always be obvious at first, and it may require years of dedication and growth. But once it is honed and refined, it becomes a powerful tool for creating opportunities. The key is not to chase after the material rewards, but to focus on mastering your craft and offering your best to the world. When you serve others with excellence, you begin to position yourself as an expert in your field, and people will seek you out for your expertise. Wealth is a direct result of the value you provide. When your work solves problems, meets needs, or makes life easier for others, you create a demand for your services. The more you focus on serving others with integrity and excellence, the more your value increases, and with that increased value comes the financial rewards. This mindset shift is crucial. Stop chasing after money and instead focus on developing your gift and serving with excellence. Money is simply a tool, a resource that flows to those who add value. When you attract money by becoming a person of value, you will no longer be chasing after it. Instead, it will come to you as a natural result of your work and the impact you have on others. One of the biggest misconceptions is that wealth comes only from having a high-paying job or a lucrative career. While those things can certainly provide financial stability, they are not the only paths to wealth. Wealth can be found in any field, from the arts to business to service industries, as long as you are committed to offering something of value. Whether you are a teacher, a writer, a designer, or a mechanic, if you develop your skills and serve others with excellence, the financial rewards will follow. The reality is that when you become truly valuable to others, you won't have to chase money. Money will come looking for you. People will pay for what you offer because they recognize the worth in what you do. Your expertise, your commitment, and your passion will set you apart, and wealth will naturally follow. However, this doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, patience, and perseverance. You must be willing to put in the work, to develop your skills, and to serve others with dedication and excellence. Wealth is also a reflection of mindset. If you believe that money is hard to come by, or that it is something to be chased, you will find that your efforts are met with frustration. But when you shift your mindset to one of abundance, recognizing that there is enough for everyone and that wealth is attracted to value. You begin to open yourself up to the opportunities that are all around you. Attracting wealth is about aligning yourself with your purpose, focusing on cultivating your gifts and serving others with excellence. When you pour yourself into what you do, not for the sake of money, but because you genuinely care about making a difference, you become a magnet for financial success. When you focus on the value you bring to others, money will follow naturally as a result of your contributions. The key is to stop chasing money and stop becoming the person who attracts it. When you do this, wealth will find its way into your life in ways you never imagined. True success is not about what you accumulate in your lifetime, it's about what you leave behind. The ultimate goal in life should not be to work simply to survive, to climb a ladder of status, or to build personal wealth. Instead, your assignment on earth is to create something that transcends your lifetime, a legacy that continues to make an impact long after you're gone. Work until you are no longer needed, and in doing so ensure that the work you do will live on, continuing to bless and inspire generations to come. This principle may seem counterintuitive in a world that values short-term success and instant gratification, but the reality is that the greatest fulfillment and the truest measure of success come from contributing something meaningful to the world, something that does not depend on your presence. The greatest men and women in history were not remembered for their wealth, titles, or temporary achievement. They were remembered for their ability to create something that outlasted them, something that continued to serve humanity long after they were gone. The notion of working until you are no longer needed doesn't mean abandoning your responsibilities, withdrawing from the world, or seeking to retire early. Instead, it means reaching a point where the systems, ideas, or contributions you've created are self-sustaining. It means empowering others to carry forward the work you started, teaching those around you to step into their own purpose, and building structures that will function without your constant intervention. You create a lasting legacy not by doing everything yourself, but by making others capable of continuing the work you began. Look at the great leaders, innovators, and visionaries of history. They didn't build empires that solely depended on them. They created foundations, systems, and movements that continue to impact society long after they were gone. The likes of Martin Luther King Jr., Mahatma Gandhi, and Nelson Mandela all left legacies that continue to shape the world today. Their work did not end with their deaths. It was designed to outlive them, and it continues to inspire and affect change. True success is measured by the legacy you leave behind, by the lives you touch, the values you instill in others, and the work you set in motion that continues to bear fruit. This could mean passing down knowledge, creating lasting institutions, or developing systems that bring value to others. It could be as simple as training up a generation of leaders who are better equipped than you to carry out the work that you started. Whatever your specific assignment is, it should be something that empowers others to take your place when your time on this earth is over. The impact you have is not determined by how much you achieve personally, but by how much you enable others to achieve. You may be the spark that ignites a movement, but the true power of that movement is found in its ability to keep going after the spark has faded. The wealth, fame, or accolades you acquire will fade away in time, but the legacy of your work, whether it's the lives you've touched or the positive change you've created, will endure. Moreover, working until you are no longer needed is a call to focus on significance, not just success. Significance goes beyond achieving personal goals or accumulating wealth. It's about making a difference in the lives of others, in your community, or even the world. Significance is creating value that matters to others, value that brings lasting change, that transforms lives and improves situations in ways that are sustainable. To achieve this, you must embrace a mindset of service and long-term vision. You must prioritize building up others, investing in them, and giving them the tools and knowledge to succeed. When you focus on making others better, you multiply your impact, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond your own efforts. It's not enough to simply do your job well or meet your own needs. Your ultimate responsibility is to create a legacy that lives on after you've done your part, one that continues to shape the future and serve others long after you are gone. In practical terms, this means taking intentional steps to ensure that your work doesn't fade with time. It could involve documenting your knowledge, passing on your wisdom, mentoring the next generation of leaders, or building systems that operate independently. It's about creating something that has enduring value, a legacy that doesn't rely on your presence to thrive. Work until you are no longer needed, and in doing so you will create something that outlives you, something that will continue to bless others and serve its purpose for years to come. Ultimately, your life and work are not just about what you achieve in your time here. They are about the impact you leave behind. It's about creating something that serves others and endures beyond your lifetime. The true measure of success is not how much you have in the moment, but how much you've given, how much you've contributed, and how much of your work continues to make a difference long after you've completed your journey. As we conclude today, let me remind you, life is not about chasing fleeting success, accumulating possessions, or building temporary monuments. True greatness comes not from what you achieve in your lifetime, but from what you leave behind. Your purpose is not just to work, but to create, to build, to inspire, and to serve in such a way that your legacy becomes a living testimony of the impact you made on this world. Work until you are no longer needed, not just for the accolades or for the applause, but for the enduring transformation you bring to the lives of others. Let your gift, your talents, and your work be the seed that continues to bear fruit long after you are gone. You were not born to simply exist, but to make a difference that will echo through the generations. So rise up and begin to work with purpose, to serve with excellence, to solve the problems that will change the world, and to leave a legacy that will inspire others to rise to their calling. When you live this way, wealth will find you, success will follow you, and true fulfillment will embrace you. Remember, your life is your assignment, and when you fulfill it with passion, purpose, and excellence, you will leave an imprint on this world that nothing and no one can erase. So let us not chase after what is temporary, but let us commit to the work that will last. Let us work in such a way that we become the solution the world is waiting for, and in doing so, we will create a legacy that will forever stand as a monument to the greatness within us all. This is the work of life. This is the assignment you were born to fulfill. And when you walk in this purpose, you will never be forgotten, for your impact will endure for generations to come.